Hi, this is Toni Grimes, Realtor with Ultima Real Estate, and I am here to share with you about what you need to do when you're ready to buy a home. If you've ever called a realtor about a property, probably the first thing they're going to ask you is, have you been pre-approved by a lender? If you haven't, I'm going to tell you why you need to be. You need to be pre-approved by a lender because you need to know what you can afford. What price of homes can you go to take a look at? What price of homes can you afford to buy? You need to be looking in your price range. There's a large price range of homes out there, and you need to be able to shop for the one that you can afford. And that's why it's so important. Also, the lender is going to help you figure out where your monthly payment needs to be. So, taking into consideration not only the price of the house, but the taxes on the property, the insurance that you're going to have to pay on the property, and if you have any private mortgage insurance, all of those things roll into your amount. So, if you're looking on Zillow or Realtor.com, a lot of times it's going to give you monthly payment. Now, some caveats of that you need to be aware of. Well, what's included in that monthly payment? A lot of times they base that monthly payment on 20% down. Most people nowadays do not put 20% down on their home. If you're VA, you can put nothing down. If you're FHA, minimum is 3.5% of the sales price. If you're conventional, the minimum percentage down is going to be 5% of the sales price, and that's what you're going to pay for down payment. That's going to cause your principal and interest to be higher than what they're showing on their calculator. So you need to be aware of those things. They also may not have included taxes and insurance. So your lender is going to figure all of these things into your price for you, into your monthly payment, and you're going to be able to know what you are comfortable with. Now, what you can afford may not be what you want to pay, so you might be in a lower price bracket. So you won't be stretched at the end of the month. But another thing that you need to be aware of, you need to be aware of how much money you have to have. And what does that consist of? That consists of your down payment. That consists of closing costs that you have to pay on the property. And that really also consists of inspections that you have to have. So how much cash do you need to have after your down payment and closing costs are accounted for to pay for your general home inspection, your termite inspection, your foundation inspection, and your hydrostatic plumbing test? There might be other inspections that are recommended by your general home inspector. So you may have to have an air conditioner inspection, which is called an HVAC inspection. You might have to have an electrical inspection. What do these things cost? Well, I'm going to give you the four most common things that you're going to come across. A general home inspection can typically cost anywhere from $275 to $500 and up. Depends on the size of the house, the age of the house. So when you call to get a quote from a home inspector, please get the quotes from the different inspectors you call, and you'll be able to compare and make your decision based on that. Also, you're going to have a termite inspection. These are required on VA and FHA loans. If you happen to be in an area where you have USDA, it's also going to be required for that one as well. Those range anywhere from $85 plus tax, could be $95 to $100, but they're generally going to be in that price range. Then you may want to do a hydrostatic plumbing test and a foundation inspection. These two things are recommended when you're in an area that has expansive soils. And there's different areas in the coastal bend that do have expansive soils and different areas that have sandy soils where it's not as much of a concern to have these inspections. Can you still ask for them? Sure you can. Hydrostatic test, though, has to be approved by the seller. So the seller has to grant permission for you to do that. What do those run? Hydrostatic tests can range anywhere from $95 to $150 and sometimes a little higher, depending on how far the plumber has to travel to an area and just generally what the plumber charges. So hydrostatic test, anywhere from $95 to $150 and up. Again, call to get a quote, see if they charge hourly or if that's for the entire hydrostatic test. Another thing that you might consider is a foundation inspection. And foundation inspection varies again from company to company. It can range anywhere from $60 for a foundation company to do that, or it can range anywhere from $250 up if you want an engineer to do the inspection for you. So keeping those things in mind, you want to get a good rough idea of what you're going to have cash on hand after your down payment and after your closing costs. Now, down payment assistance and closing cost assistance, are those things? Yes, they're things. Ask your lender about them, but you have to be able to qualify for them. They're not just given out. They're based on your income, and your lender can help you figure these out. It's a lot of times based on your income and how many people are in your family. USDA loan is 0% down, but may require closing costs. It depends on the area that you're looking in. Some areas where you can get USDA loans are going to be your smaller surrounding areas, Aransas Pass, Ingleside, Sinton. You need to know when you do call a real estate agent, you need to let them know what type of loan that you have, because different loans require different property conditions. Anything that is government backed, VA, FHA, USDA, all of these types of loans are going to require your property condition to meet certain requirements. Some properties, when they're listed in the multiple listing service, which is what we look at, they will show what types of loans are acceptable for this house. So if you have a house that has been unoccupied for some time, or maybe it's run down, they will not qualify for the government backed loans if the sellers aren't willing to do any repairs. So don't waste your time looking at those properties if you have a government backed loan. Those will be conventional, uninsured conventional, and cash options only. So again, please let your agent know what type of loan you have qualified for. Once you know what you're approved for, what type of loan you have, how much money you have down, how much you have for closing costs, what your inspections are going to be, then you're ready to make an offer. And the best part about being pre-approved, if you walk into a house and you want it that day, with the market that we have now, it is important that you get an offer in as soon as possible on a property that you want. And this is also allowing you to do that by being pre-approved before you go house shopping. So you find a house, you make an offer, hopefully it gets accepted. When it does, you are ready for the next step. And that is the option period. And that is the next video that I have in the series for you. Please take a minute to watch it. There's some really important things in there that you need to be aware of. I'd like for you to have something to take a look at as you're going through, something to remind you of what needs to be done and what's going to go on during that time. Thanks so much.